And a tough time for New Zealanders and everyone at the moment after what happened in Christchurch yesterday, those despicable acts. And now the teams are huddling up for a moment's silence here at Leichhardt.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Now thoughts with everyone caught up in that event yesterday in Christchurch. Manly with a home game in Christchurch in a couple of weeks' time against the Warriors. Mahe Whenua, different role for him this afternoon on the right wing. Used to seeing him on the left side last year. No David Norfoluma for round one for the West Tigers, and there's one of the new faces, the former Rooster, Ryan Madison, on the right edge.
Here we go. Time you run.
And the debutant, Reuben Garrick, who's got a Kyle Felt kickoff in him, hangs it up in the air a long time. Madison had to camp underneath it, and we might see that a bit from Reuben Garrick today. The kickoffs could be a factor. Here is Whenua. The round one specialists, the West Tigers. They've won their last 4 season openers. Madalino without Packer alongside him to start this game. Packer coming off the bench today. Alex Twal is the other starting front rower. And here's Farah with a dart from dummy half, trying to catch the markers, not being square. Marshall on the follow-up, so they're calling him Grandad and Fossil, those two. The West Tigers teammates of Farah and Marshall, and they take back-to-back darts from dummy half. Luke Brooks, the reigning Dally M halfback of the year. It got awkward for George Tafua, and there's a bonus for the West Tigers. They get a repeat set inside the 20.
It was a funny-looking kick from Luke Brooks, and he hooked it back across to the other side. George Tafua on this left wing for the Seagulls. The ball went over his head, makes it difficult to catch. Through his arms and over the sideline for a great start.
Let's go, clock's on, guys.
You can train for all the pre-season, can't you, in a beautiful hot summer sun, and you can't prepare for this. Swirling winds for George Tafua, wet. We're interested to see what sort of setup they got here, the West Tigers.
Hold here, guys, hold, Jake, go.
Here they go, off the back of the scrum, looking to strike immediately. And Brooks takes the tackle in the end, a little out of sync with Garner in that Chris Lawrence role in the number 12 jumper. Here is Alex Twal. So often an impact player last year. Caught the eye of Madge Maguire to be a starter now. Madalino attacking them right in front of the uprights. Farah looking to the right-hand side and goes left instead to Brooks once more. DCE up quickly to shut off that angle. They get there eventually to Momorowski putting some footwork on. The former Rooster with 2 tries in 2 games for them last year, including one in a final. Now Twal. And he's brought down 8 metres out. Last tackle for the West Tigers. Can they get some points after their early dominance? And the set play out the back for Garner. Well, he popped it out the back in the end. Jennings to Farah, and that kick is handy. What about the pick-up by Tapau? Coughs it up out the back. But it was pretty handy skills from the big front rower.
Well, Garner did a great job to keep that ball alive because he was wrapped up well there by Moses Suley. Good defensive read by the Manly centre, but then the ball out the back allowed Robbie Farah to... There it is. Well, I'll say it's good work. He might have dropped it out the back. Anyway, he just had to get rid of it, tackle 5, and they get a repeat set. Strong start from the Tigers.
Manly on the back foot big time at the start of this game. Here's a chance though, and it's knocked on, is it, by Whenua? It doesn't matter now. It's into touch. So this wet weather is playing havoc early on, and DCE with a minor celebration.
Oh, what a bonus. Always got to cover that touch line. Maybe start on the touch line, especially in these sort of conditions so you can come towards the ball. He's got a terrible bounce here, Mahe Fanua. Just do your best with that one.
Gee, it was travelling.
It was.
It looked, as soon as it hit the ground, it was going to be a tough one for Fanua to pick up.
And the rain is really sweeping across to this side of the ground. We've seen Tafua get caught out, and now Fanua. And Manly will welcome this possession as Fanua Blake is finished off strongly. Ball security is going to be at a premium today. Here's LG, rediscovering his love of the game after that ACL injury and a lack of game time with the Titans. Out to Powell, one of the offload kings last year. Finished just behind Fafita in that count. Now, oh, solid hit over the top by Garner on Jake Trebojevic. And now back on the angle, Sirinen at Leichhardt gets the first offload away. After all his injury concerns of late. First time up against the Tigers for the boyhood fan, of course, with Ciro, his legendary dad, here in the stands today. That kick sails long. Corey Thompson gets back quickly for the 7-tackle set to start. And Manly were only just getting their numbers back.
Yeah, there is a breeze from right to left, but they're the ones who've got to get right for Kane LG. He's in the team for that, to polish up those ends of sets, especially in this weather. The 7-setter. Nice get out a free card for the West Tigers there.
Madison. He was a half for a while there, but spoke to Trent Robinson and really bulked up his frame. Now an edge back rower for the West Tigers. Elijah Taylor, rock solid contributor.
World's biggest half.
Yeah.
He's a giant now, isn't he?
Madalino. That Kiwi connection for the West Tigers. Now Brooks. And back on the angle came Garner. He lost it though. And Manly stand up again defensively. That's the big query. They had the worst defence last year. Can Desi stiffen them up again?
I'm sure there's been plenty of talk about it and plenty of work through the off-season. Manly just trying to tighten up their middles and edges. These are the sort of passes that often go wrong in the wet. Those balls on the line as a player's ready to make a tackle. Pretty tough to hang on.
They are. You're best off dropping your players under, getting some angles going and see if you can get someone with a bit of footwork. But those balls right at the line, it's a 50-50, no doubt.
Take two on the scrum. All looked above board, but the referee called it back.
On me, Robert, hold! Hold, Alex! Holding!
LG waits, looking to offload to Jake Trebojevic. Let him take the hit up. 7 tries and 3 try assists last year for Jake. Their top tackler as well. Here's Tapau. Takes 3 to stop him just about every time. Well, Coruscant showed it to Fanua Blake, forced to take the tackle himself in the end. Elliott, the fullback, into dummy half. And Fanua Blake up over halfway, got the arm free, found Cherry Evans, lovely pass to Moses Sulik, a former West Tiger who shed 13 kilograms off that frame in the off-season, down to 112. What a beast.
Where did it go?
Yeah.
Still big.
He's a unit on the right side, isn't he?
Last one, Ben!
Now Coruscant. Looked like they were in front of DCE. Taken safely by Jennings, who scored all those tries for the Bunnies on the left wing last year.
Well, not the sort of kick I'm sure Daly Cherry Evans was thinking, but good pressure. Robbie Farah out of the line. Fanua Blake's offload. They've got 2 front rowers that love offloading the ball to Powell and Fanua Blake, and that could cause some problems in these conditions.
Marty Tapau, you heard the contact on Twal. Able to get back to his feet relatively quickly to play it, and Tapau's involved again. His work rate is high in these opening exchanges. Oh, attacking the legs of Benji Marshall was Fanua Blake. Benji's back to his feet, but it's an obvious penalty, and hopefully Marshall's right to go on.
Yeah, we've already seen that in this round, haven't we? On Thursday night down there in Melbourne, and that's a definite no-no. That's completely out of the game. I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more about that. Was he in motion there? Looked spectacular.
Well, he launched himself a long way from Benji Marshall. That's no good. It's careless, reckless, whatever you want to call it.
endangering the welfare of a fellow professional rugby league player there. They tap it and go. Turn down the shot at 2.
Uppy move! Uppy, hold!
They want to get an opening try here, the West Tigers, after their early dominance. Brooks back on the angle comes Garner, yet to score an NRL try. 7th game for him today. Now Taylor out the back. Marshall's okay now. Madison, tough to hold on. And he's coughed it up. So they come up empty-handed again after a set started inside the 20.
He did a good job there, LG. He has questions over his defence, there's no doubt about that. Joel Thompson, he's on his inside to look after him, but he stood his ground. Big tackle, he had to come up one-on-one there. That ball from Elijah Taylor, Brandy, he throws that beautifully, doesn't he, out the back?
Yeah, it is his go-to play. Not many middles that throw a better pass than Elijah Taylor.
Kicking early. Coruscant can't get it over the top of Thompson, who was beautifully positioned. Playing in that fullback role. We saw him a lot on the wing last year, of course, but no Moses Mbai for the opening round or 2. Who would be first choice, of course.
Yeah, both clubs missing their fullbacks, and Corey Thompson's certainly a handy replacement.
Momirovski showed a bit last year with the Roosters. Moved to the West Tigers, looking for more game time, of course. Playing in the Latrell Mitchell left centre role here. As Farah finds the deck. Elliott across. Playing for his 4th NRL club, and there wasn't a whole lot of room to move there. Great chase by Farah and Brooks. And good luck getting out of there, Reuben Garrick. Welcome to first grade. A former Dragons lower grader. George Tafua in off his wing. Backs to the wall here for Manly. 3 tackles inside the 20. Now they're out of there. And they'll get a penalty. That is a welcome one.
10 metres. We good here, mate?
Got to pay credit to Garrick as well, getting involved twice on that set. As we check in with Hannah Hollis down on the sideline.
Brenton, it is raining sideways down on the sideline. It has been threatening all day, and right on cue as we sat down ready for kickoff, the heavens opened and it's been a downpour. We've already seen a couple of handling errors in this first half, and with 2 inexperienced fullbacks tonight, watch out under the high ball. And while we talk about rain, let's think about North Queensland. Now, to support the North Queensland flood appeal, the NRL is going to be donating $100 for every point scored in round 1. If you've ever wanted a better reason for a high-scoring game, this is it. And you too can assist by donating at vinnies.org.au.
Let's hope we see plenty of points here this evening. Going to be tough, though, in these conditions. As Fanua Blake rumbles forward again. Tried to get the arm free. Bit of a risk in these conditions. Garner ensured that he couldn't. Now Trebojevic. The welcoming arms of Luke Garner there. Now LG. Out the back is Tapau. So they're inside the 20. What can Manly dish up this time? LG shows it to a couple. Goes to his fellow half. Cherry Evans kicking. Across comes Thompson. And it took a West Tigers bounce.
I'm not sure that was 100% on Cherry's first option there. He looked up and everything seemed to be closed down, and he's put it ball to boot. Had to get it right. A little bit dead. 7 tackles set for the West Tigers.
Well, they've given up a couple of those already, Brandy.
He brought the winger up. I can understand what he was thinking. Corey Thompson always had it covered. If it stays in the in-goal, it's a completely different situation. But on the back of the 7 tackle set now, they've given away a penalty, and Benji will put this ball into Manly territory.
It's all about the angle on that DCE kick as well. A better angle towards the corner flag, and there's a big hope. Now Madison. There is some heavy contact here. Manly's defence certainly looks to have a harder edge about it in 2019. Garner again putting his hand up for plenty of work on that left edge. Now Marshall turns it back the other way for Twal. Setting things up for the strike play. Marshall with the hand signals out the back right now. It's coming his way. And kicking. And not sure anyone was reading his hand signals, because no one was chasing that kick.
No, Mahe was very deep. Fanua was very deep, so he wasn't prepared for the kick, and neither was Esan Masters. Breakdown in communication there on the right side for the Tigers.
Manly have been traditionally round one battlers, won just 5 of their last 18. And they've got Desi back at the controls, and Hasler has taken his team to finals in 12 of his 14 years in charge.
That was a good legs tackle there from Alex Twall.
Power feeling it a little. It is the last. Cherry Evans has been caught on the last, and Moses Sully won't be getting out of that. So another mistake made by Manly, giving great field position to their opponents.
Yeah, they need to fix it up, don't they? They played 5 kicking options in the setup play before. DC was trying to drop someone under there and try and take some heat off, but Robbie Farah didn't take his eyes off him. Just kept on pushing forward, put a lot of pressure on him. Come up with the error.
Big crowd here in the wet, waiting for the first points at Leichhardt, as Madison sets them up 20 out. Farah and Marshall always scheming. Brooks back inside for Taylor. Plenty of numbers out there on the left-hand side. Now Benji sweeping back to the right, and Farah's dropped it cold. Out of dummy half, the 35-year-old.
Well, he came up with the error, Robbie Farah, but he put pressure on Cherry Evans, and that was the reason they were down this end. If I was Manly, and Cherry Evans has now been under pressure a couple of times when he's been down that right side waiting for the ball, they've got to position someone inside him, whether Kane Elgey just drifts across and hangs in the centre of the field waiting for a pass if Cherry Evans can't kick the ball. He needs an option.
Was Farah blaming that on Taylor? You saw on the replay the look around to Elijah Taylor as though he knocked it off the back of Taylor's backside or something.
I think Robbie's very good at deflecting.
Clutching there.
Here is Moses Sully. Similar hairdo to the one sported by Mahe Fanua and Sirinen. He played the first 4 rounds, then suffered that ACL injury last year. Spent the last 12 months, the best part of it, rehabbing, getting ready for round 1. Again, ball hits the deck, and they've lost ground again, Manly.
Yeah, I'm not one for playing out the back these days. It'd be nice to play over the advantage line. Get on the ad line and then just put people with some angles or drop someone under, hit someone short. Everything's out the back at the moment.
Cherry Evans able to get an effective kick away that time. Tracked down by Thompson. And Fanua, cult hero here at Leichhardt. They want him to wind up and bust a few tackles. Not to be centre field on this occasion. Good chase by Coruscant. Oh, forcing the offload was Momirovski. Bit of footwork from Jennings. Back across the grain. Now Madison once more, and bracing for a strong hit there was Thompson. Plays 200th next week in a home game against the Roosters, Joel Thompson. Now Thompson sweeps it wide to Momirovski. Brooks putting a bit of footwork on. So Garner into dummy half on the last play. Farah down the shorter side. And well tidied up at the back by Elliott.
Just about to say, see if they can force some defensive pressure here, the West Tigers. Really try and get into the game like that. On the back of some good effort in defence, but that was a big relief of pressure there. Farah comes up with a little dab down the left side. Benji's over the top. Team stayed on too long.
He played 7 games as fullback with the Newcastle Knights in 2017. Did Elliott, then he moved to the Titans. Now getting another opportunity with Manly. He was well positioned there for the kick from Farah.
On his foot, guys. Holding.
Real capable, real solid player.
Good utility value.
Very much so.
Plays in the centres, playing the wing. Doing the job at fullback today.
Approaching the midpoint of the first half. No scorers yet. West Tigers have looked more likely, but unable to breach Manly's resolute defence so far. Fanua Blake now up over halfway he goes. Trebojevic nearly overran Coruscant. That's what the home fans were talking about, but pass did go backwards. Cherry Evans pinched a metre or two too many. To Powell's turn. And nothing play, only 5 metres. Rather tame ending to that one. So Cherry Evans again, they're borderline in front of him, the chasers, and Jennings coughs it up. Did it go backwards? It's still alive here for Manly, and look who's picked it up, the son of Ciro. He's celebrating the first try, but there's a lot to examine there, Brandy Alexander. Not sure it's going to stand.
Well, there is.
I've no try. Can you just confirm that I take out Tigers fullback?
Corey Thompson and the referee collided.
Yeah.
Now,
Just see if I impede it.
let's see whether he did impede.
And they're onside there, the chasers.
No, I reckon
Trebojevic is in front.
Yeah, does he get involved, Trebojevic?
Okay, right side kick chasers onside.
No, he's good.
That's good.
Jennings has knocked it on first, so if everything else fails, that's where we go back to. Now, does the referee...
So there's a knock on from the West Tigers. We're just looking to see the impact of the referee against Corey Thompson.
Well, he knocks him over.
There's impact.
He knocks him over.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
Yeah.
It forced him to turn into a goalkeeper trying to make a save rather than trying to pick up the ball, which he would have done if the referee
the
didn't get
referee
next
has
row.
impeded play. So therefore, we have a no try. We have a decision.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got to scrum to Manly.
There was so much going on. I thought Sirinen was a little premature thinking that was going to be a try.
So the team in possession, when they come in contact with the referee, do get the ball. So Manly will get the feed. Off a scrum.
It's a Manly scrum feed. Scrum for West Tigers. Daly.
Well, one referee said scrum
It's your
feed
scrum
for
feed.
Manly. The
Scrum
other one
feed.
said scrum feed for West Tigers.
Rob contacted Corey, which impacts play. It's your scrum feed, okay?
Definitely Manly's ball.
I'm sure Daly's not complaining about that.
Questioning.
So the wingers having a bit of a nightmare, aren't they?
Yes.
Collecting the ball off kicks. Seen a lot of mistakes already, and the knock on against Jennings
Come down, let's go.
gives Manly the chance to strike here.
Let's go. Time on once,
They've got a big line set. Will they go for something right off the back of the scrum? LG, Thompson, and wrapped up effectively. Best field position they've had all game, though, the Sea Eagles. Fanua Blake sets them up in front of that left upright. To Powell, used as a decoy. LG, Cherry Evans, cut out pass. Moses Sully, going to be tough to stop the big centre. They've got plenty of numbers there. Momirovski, Jennings and Brooks. Back the other way they go. To Powell, gets his first fend off going on Farah. Big test for the Tigers defence. Another pass hits the deck. Cherry Evans coughs it up and leaves it for Madison. Sums up their afternoon so far with ball in hand, Manly.
Well, that's a rare sight. Jake Trebojevic throwing it to no one. He's so good at taking it forward and picking up his halves, but a couple of times now Manly have got that wrong and give a penalty away.
That piggybacked, haven't they? The West Tigers out with their own 20-metre line with the back of a kick, poor kick, and then followed up by a penalty. There it is there, just the ball just bouncing out of the hands of DCEs. A frustrating 20 minutes for Des Hasler to start off his 2018 campaign.
And that downpour at the start of this game has turned it into a cake of soap. Desi already taking notes. 1-3 record at this venue as a NRL coach for Hasler. Madison straightening things up. Third man in was Coruscant down low. Brooks showing it one way, suspect past the other. Twal right on the 20. Benji, Garner, no hole there. Cherry Evans getting help from Sirinen defensively. Now Brooks, Madalino. Getting towards that stage where the changes will come thick and fast. Now, Marshall, little no-look pass, and Momorowski couldn't handle it. They said it was forward anyway.
He sells it so well, doesn't he, Benji Marshall? Definitely with his eyes. I'm sure at training, Momorowski would have had ample amount of time to get used to running off Benji Marshall. There it is there. Once again, hard catch in this weather. Once you catch them in here in these conditions, this time he'll win the game.
The referee bailed out Momorowski, though, didn't he? Because he said it was a forward pass, not a knock-on, didn't he?
Yeah. That'd make Momorowski feel a bit better.
If he heard it.
Well, the play's on. Still on there. I'm sure you'll see that again.
Michael Maguire may be saying just that. The premiership coach with the Bunnies in 2014 when he knocked off Desi in the big one. Fanua Blake took forward to stop him. Man Mountain. Oh, Thompson ran into a roadblock led by Madison. Cherry Evans kicking from the 40-metre line. He came up with a couple of 40-20s last year. That one not really a threat. Taken on the full by Jennings. Coming back with that ball in the one arm. Confident of his ball security. Now Momorowski. Nissan Masters gets the offload away. He was third in the offload category last year, behind Fafita, behind Tapau. Not bad for a centre.
Unbelievable strength, Nissan Masters.
Here's the first interchange forward, and Josh Aloye with wonderful go forward. Screaming for a penalty. The West Tigers faithful. Taylor. Wrapped up by LG. Well, interesting by Madison. Out of dummy half he went, and it's going to come off. Oh, nearly the mistake. He was playing with fire there, Brendan Elliott, because Madison was mowing him down.
He took the chance, didn't he? Madison, all his halves over to the left, popped out to the right. Nice little bit of skill there. But geez, it makes a difference when on the back of a fast play the ball, you got Aloye just come onto the field. They need to generate and create some more ruck speed. He's the man to do it with his fresh legs.
Oh, I thought Elliott played that well.
Yeah.
He was, giving it every chance to go dead, but was always there just to make the touch if he needed to put it dead himself.
Cherry Evans looking for another one of those squirmers.
Oh, boy.
Nearly mucked it up, Aloye. That's an interesting play by Madison, though, who talked about his background in the halves. It's another element he brings. Ignored Marshall on that previous play.
Get up, Jack!
He had plenty of space to do it. It's a good play. He's got the skill to do it.
Now Garner straightening things up again.
Get together, Curtis!
Started one game last year. That was in round 20. Marshall, Brooks. Oh, he threw the dummy and got monstered by Thompson. Left a little forearm in for afters too. Now Aloye. That's a great tackle made by Coruscant. One-on-one. Support came late. The hooker was fantastic. Now Fanua back on the angle. Good offload as well to Masters. Heard the shout of the last tackle. And Elliott, can he get back? Well, he's got the penalty. They were all offside, the chasers.
Nice bit of skill, wasn't it, for Masters? Nice highlight of this first half. This last couple of minutes. Good action going on. Get the ball in there. Let's see who's offside. Nice bit of skill. Same, obviously, Mahu Fanua is offside, gets involved.
Let's go, darling. Penalties here.
Elliott was going close to get back in the field of play. You talk about Api Coruscant with his attacking prowess, but he's a really, really good defender, especially low, Api.
Conditions are on the improve, Hannah.
They are, Brenton. Umbrellas have gone down, ponchos are on. Everyone's still a little bit careful because the rain can come back at any second, but the wind has also subsided, so things are looking on the up.
Maybe the chance to get some points before half-time, but it's been a grind so far. What an important tackle that was by Coruscant, who goes to Gajewski, the former Rabbitoh. Now to Powell. They've got a bit of momentum here off the back of that penalty. Coruscant keeps on rolling, and he caught the markers not square.
When you get a one-on-one tackle like that, that's a beautiful tackle. I think it's from Alawai down low onto Powell, but what it does, it just gives you the ability to bounce up and play the ball. It's exactly what Powell does. Real capable of playing that really quick, and Cherry Evans goes for the wise 2 points.
Well, the West Tigers had the chance to take 2 very early on in this contest, turned it down. Do you think round 1 it's a good idea to get points on the board and build off that?
Well, I think it is now. It's 0-0 with 13 to go. I'd be taking the 2. I think you've got to weigh things up early. I think we've seen sides, and that was the penalty there. Happy read it beautifully. Alloy didn't get square at marker, and Coruscant caught him out.
Had a good year with the boot last year. Cherry Evans up to 78% in 2018, upping his average overall. He was in the 60s heading into 2018.
Obviously worked hard. Hadn't been a frontline goal kicker before last year.
And from right in front, he puts the first points on the board here at Leichhardt this afternoon. A man who's scored a stack of tries against the West Tigers in recent years too. A couple of doubles in the last 3 games.
How do you think their attack's going, Brandy, the West Tigers, and what are you seeing from Michael Maguire when he's head coach?
Yeah, look, you know, he said he'd worked on a couple of things over the summer because the Tigers did struggle in that department last year, but it's a very hard day to gauge how attack is because of the conditions.
Yep.
You know, the passes aren't, just no one feels confident to throw the normal pass.
Made sure of the safe take there, didn't he, Elliott, before giving it to Jake Trebojevic, who's sent backwards. You don't see that too often. Now to Fua. Started with a nice neat top knot, but that's come undone, and so's his ball control.
Yeah, hasn't had to do much, George, has he? He's come up with a couple of errors now.
Let's come in, Manly.
Hasn't been an easy day for the wingers. Balls on the ground, in the air. They've all had trouble with them. Let's see what they can muster here. Down 2-0, the West Tigers. Golden opportunity, scrum inside the 20.
Yeah, they won their last 3 against Manly. Never beaten them 4 times in a row. Opportunity knocks here this afternoon. Marshall to Brooks. Thompson trying to put some footwork on. Wrapped up by Sully. Thompson gets another touch. Plenty of work going on in the ruck. Great hands by Twal. Backing his way towards that left upright. So Farah has options. Goes to Brooks, on to Benji. Madison, another one-on-one tackle made by LG. Good signs for him defensively. And Elijah Taylor, there's no way through there, so we get to the last once more. What's their play this time? Brooks to put it on the boot. And there's no hole for him to find, but it's played at 6 more. Alloye. When will this Manly defence break? Brooks trying to crash his way through Elijah Taylor. Finished off strongly by Gajewski. Marshall throws the dummy this time, and Thompson wraps him up. The one-on-one tackles on the left edge from Manly have been outstanding. Twal tries to put a bit of footwork on as well. And we've gotten to the last once more. Farah's going to come to the right-hand side. Marshall, little no-look kick this time, and he's got there, has he? Isan Masters not confident. The fans were going up, but it looks like a 7-tackle set coming up for Manly.
Well, no try.
It was a Manly hand in there.
Off Tigers.
It's a great job of Masters, because Masters jumps up, tries to bat it back in.
I've called that.
Right side kick chasers onside.
Well, he got his hands to it, Masters. I think, does George swing his arm through the middle there? Or
And Isan Masters has lost
touched
position
the ball.
in the end goal. We have a decision.
Last-ditch stuff from George Tafua. Might have saved one there.
Yeah, it was, because Masters won the race to that ball then, didn't he? He got his hands on it first, and he got both hands on it. And it's that sort of day. The rain returns again, and it'll be kicks on the ground, building pressure. Roll up your sleeves. Back rowers, don't hang on your edge. Come in for a tough run.
Hold. On Adam's whistle.
Get through your set. Get to your kick.
1-0.
So Tafua will be relieved and delighted that he played a part in getting the ball back in Manly's hands after he coughed it up in his own red zone. Now Parker hasn't seen a lot of the footy, playing that left centre role where Brian Kelly was in operation the last couple of years. Now he's a Gold Coast Titan, though. They're playing tomorrow night on Fox League against the Raiders in the final game of the round. Don't forget, after this game, the Cowboys against the Dragons coming your way to complete the triple header on Fox League on your Saturday night.
Hold here, Josh, hold!
So using the 7 tackle set to good effect here, Manly. Sirinen back on the angle. Oh, that offload, they were fighting for it. Gajewski and Coruscant, was like they didn't know they were teammates.
No, they didn't. He thought he was someone else, obviously a West Tiger. Not a Manly man. Tried to bat it off. Arpey. Don't know what happened there. Got away from the hands. Gajewski. Here it is here.
Gee, you can still look at the rain. Gajewski had it. I think Appy just stuck the right hand out. But it's that sort of play that will break up the defence.
Yeah.
In a day like this where the lateral passes are going to be tight, you're not throwing any cutout balls. It's the simple offload that will break the defensive line up.
That tackle given the all clear. You heard the referee saying it's all right as it slipped a little high on the slipping Whanua. Strong meters by Madison, landed on his front, got a quick play of the ball, and Aloye trying to do something similar here. West Tigers getting a roll on.
Hold in the middle.
That is Aloye, of course. The previous touch from Tom McKaylee on debut in the number 15 jumper. Another pass hits the deck out the back. Jennings retrieves. Awkward looking tackle from Trebojevic. Got down low. Now Brooks goes with the chip, getting there on the full. Great take to Tafua. Slips out of the tackle as well, does George.
That's great stuff from George. Had a tough afternoon so far. Slid in to take that one on the full. Bounced to his feet. Gets his side out to the 20-metre mark.
And you talked about kicks along the deck is what you should be going for. What about that choice from Brooks?
Yeah, not bad, because it nearly found the ground. He was, not much room to find there, but almost found it. Hits grass, it could go anywhere.
Strong tackle down low by Aloye. Oh, no, look, pass from LG. Elliott. Oh, he didn't go to Parker, and that bombed one. Brad Parker was unmarked, waiting to go over for the first try of the afternoon, and his teammate never saw him. Now the chase is on, and it's battered dead for a repeat set, but where was Brendan Elliott looking?
Well, it did seem that he looked to his outside. Brad Parker unmarked. This is a great inside ball from Kane Elgee. Brendan Elliott through the middle, Brad Parker. Well, he scores. Was he thinking that the pass might have been forward? I can't work out any other reason why he wouldn't have thrown it.
Got a bit spooked, didn't he? It's one of those things that you just tighten up in these conditions. Tightened up, but that was just a lay down. It was there, try that one. It's gone bombed. Just difficult for Brendan Elliott. He'll bounce back, get some confidence back from, hopefully he can get this ball out here.
What about the Marshall-esque pass from Kane Elgee?
Beautiful.
Oh,
no.
Cake of soap stuff, but surely that's knocked back. They say it's knocked on. Not a great minute for that man. Brendan Elliott.
Knocked in. He was going to bounce back. That was all my plans for him. Poor Brendan. A couple of deep breaths.
He'll need a counselling session after that.
Well, Coruscant just gave him one.
Oops.
Took his eyes off the ball, didn't he?
Knock on or knock back?
It's a knock on.
Really?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Knock on.
Okay.
He just moved past the ball himself.
Masters won't be looking for an offload on this occasion. Off the back of the scrum. And Russell Packer, the unfamiliar role. Yep, they say that's a dangerous low contact there.
Well, you've got to come in above the knee, and that certainly wasn't above the knee. Fanua Blake, third man in. And a couple of Manly errors. See the Tigers back on the attack. 4 minutes short of the break.
Here's McKaylee, former Australian schoolboy out of Keebra Park High School.
All the way, Jake.
At Rugby League Factory on the Gold Coast. Oh, Garner spun out of the tackle from Fanua Blake. Nearly opened up for him as a result. Oh, now the ball comes loose and penalty is given. One of those 50-50, say Manly. It went against them. And they just tap it and go. Strong run to set them up by Aloye. Farah throws the dummy. Trying to go over under the post, Robbie. And they hold him up successfully. Well, Desi's going to be delighted with the defence.
Yeah, it's certainly been a highlight for the Sea Eagles, who have been under more pressure, certainly goal line pressure.
Madison with a little settler. Still plenty of tackles up their sleeve here. After that penalty inside the 20. Packer, ball playing for Brooks. Plenty of numbers left. Marshall, cut out ball to Jennings. And it's another lost ball by a winger. Well, the diehards have come out this afternoon, Brandy, to cheer on both teams, especially the West Tigers, but not a lot to cheer in this first half.
No, it's been a tough 40 minutes of football. We're almost 40. We're nearly there. Manly will feed the scrum and try and work it out. But I know the rain has stopped now, but it's come down pretty heavy through most of this half, which has made it tough. You've got to adjust your game, and both sides really haven't adjusted how they should be playing.
And when you look out to the right, there's plenty more coming. You can see it sheeting down in the distance as we close in on half-time. Ruben Garrick has put his hand up for plenty of work. Former Australian schoolboys teammate of McKaylee back in 2015, making their NRL debut in the same game. No look pass out of dummy half from Coruscant was impressive. The offload goes back to the dummy half. So throwing it around a little here, Manly. Jake Trebojevic, he's always looking for a ball. LG drops it on the boot and it's bouncing away from Thompson. And he played it well. Let it run into touch. It's West Tigers' ball.
Yeah, didn't he play it well? He was almost forced to make a grab at the footy before it crossed the sideline, but just smothered it with his body. It's going to be between that and the Manly chaser. Joel Thompson was there. That's terrific from Corey Thompson. They didn't want to give Manly a feed with a minute and a half to go. 10 out.
Even though it hit him there, as the referee explained, not played at. As Joel Thompson pushed him into the footy. Fanua, they use him as a battering ram off the back of the scrums at times. And it's coming straight down now, big time. And here's a little opportunity for the West Tigers. They can find touch and have one more full set at Manly. Marshall finds it right on halfway. Manly have proved a tough nut to crack. What can the West Tigers produce here? 10 penalties in the first half. Madison. An impressive West Tigers debut from the former Rooster. Brooks now uses McKaylee off his right shoulder. Strong run. from the 21-year-old. 191 centimetres, 110 kegs. Brooks throwing the dummy, slipped out of a tackle. He might have been able to keep on going there, but he thought he was being wrapped up.
Yeah, right, Speedy. He had the opportunity to keep going. He bounced off a couple of tackles there, found a little bit of space back on the inside, but threw the ball or pass a little early.
Well, one of the two coaches is going to be preaching at half-time, do you think?
Well, they'll say it's the conditions are horrible. We hang on to the football, we'll win the game. It's as basic as it gets.
They're going to have to go up in twos, or they're going to go up in fours and sixes.
Well, if they get the opportunity to level up the Tigers, I think they'd take it.
Last play, and Thompson accepts the tackle. What a grind. Rugby League is back, and the West Tigers and Manly have turned this one into a defensive grind in wet conditions. Ball security has been tough, and it's a Daly Cherry Evans penalty goal that separates the sides. It's 2-0 at half-time. Let's get down to Danny. Tryless at Leichhardt Oval. This guy came pretty close, though. He scored, but it was taken away after the referee got in the road. Curtis Sirinen, who played all his junior footy here at Leichhardt Oval. His last game here in West Tigers colours was April 2016 against the Storm. And the world's gone mad for this bloke, Siro, watching his son play for Manly and his other son play for the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, and he's a Tiger. He's a Tiger legend, so... But I know where his heart would be this afternoon as he watches Curtis, who's returned from injury. Great man, Ciro, and what a back rower he was. One of the best.
And even Ciro's delighted to see himself on the big screen. Plenty of banter in the corporate box, just to our left here at Leichhardt Oval. It looks like the heavens have cleared a little bit here. Maybe the prospect of it opening up in this second half as Brooks gets things underway. And Fanua Blake to bring it back for Manly with some purpose as well. 4 in on the tackle, and they finished him off nicely as well. So Tafua, after a mistake-riddled first half from the veteran winger, makes sure of holding on to the pill that time. Oof, up quickly on Thompson. Benji Marshall and company. Now Jake Trebojevic, runners in motion. Cherry Evans, lovely cutout ball to Moses Suli. Wrapped up by Brooks in the end, but good meters on that play. And Coruscant, was that a trip by Brooks? Hung out the leg. Maybe lucky, Brandy. He didn't really collect him and upend him.
Looked like he stuck the leg out, just missed.
Cherry Evans to go high to end a decent set from Manly at the start of this second half. Thompson able to take it on the full.
That's one of their better sets, isn't it? Manly getting out of their own end. Nice ball from Cherry Evans. Nice to see a little bit more than of Suli. Nice straight line.
Let's have a look at what Brooks does here.
Oh, yeah, has a go. Gets the leg out.
Well, they do these days. They fine them, don't they? Might be a bit of a fine coming his way.
And what if the referee saw it? Penalise it?
I guess so.
Just the penalty on the ground?
Yeah.
Brooks scooping it up here after the offload from McKaylee. Now Benji to kick. Hangs in the air a long time. Elliott had a tough end of that first half. Bombed a try and then coughed up the line dropout as well. Described as a journeyman. The 25-year-old already at his 4th NRL club in the build-up to this game.
Shows that the speed of this game hasn't been up to what's been happening on the weekend. You've got Aiden Fanua-Blake. He hasn't gone off yet. He had his half-time. He's played a big 40. Haven't gone to their bench too much, the Manly boys.
A lot safer play from Manly on the opening plays, but then they get expansive when Cherry Evans goes wide and the offload from Sirinen successful. They looked each other in the eye there, Russell Packer and Cherry Evans for a moment, didn't they? Big front rower on halfback as LG goes high. Gives the chasers plenty of time. They all looked around and they got in each other's way again. LG nearly picked up the scraps. Benji improvised, just towed it to Momirovski. And the West Tigers, no damage done.
He didn't get to that, did he? Did it hit Robbie Farah? It did. Farah's arm.
And Farah got pushed into him, didn't he? Very lucky there, the West Tigers, to come away with that ball.
Yeah, they looked confident that they were going to get a penalty if a try came from it, the West Tigers, but they were playing with fire a little as Marshall goes up over halfway. One-hand pick up from Farah. Oh, rocking tackle made by Tafua, coming in off the wing on Madison. Able to get the offload away, though. Second phase footy for McKaylee to try and make something happen. And good quick play the ball from the first gamer. Brooks. Well, they're asking about the player being taken out, and they get their penalty.
Krajewski sort of held his ground. He's got his arms out, saying to the referee, what could have I done? Just have a look and see what happens back through the middle here.
Just on that kick down there. He's pushed me.
Suggesting that he lowered the shoulder.
And he gets Krajewski.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't change his line.
The fans played their part with that one, didn't they? They all went up in arms, and the whistle did come. And we talked at the back end of that first half, Brandy, about whether you go up in twos today. And trailing by 2, they're going to do that now after turning down some early shots in that first half, the West Tigers.
Well, I guess the Tigers, because they dominated those opening 10 minutes, you want to think that you're a chance of grabbing an early try. They weren't to know that the half was going to play out like it did. But I agree with the decision now. Let's square it up and get the ball back. The Tigers have been able to put a couple of good sets together, as have Manly. So both sides have looked better with the ball in this second half.
He was one of multiple goal-kicking options last year. Mbai, Lawlahia both had some shots. Isan Masters went it better than 75%. And he levels things up with a straightforward penalty goal as we check in with Hannah again.
Speedy, as for the halftime messages from both coaches, Michael Maguire said, keep it simple in this weather, strip it back to basics, run hard and hang on to that ball. As for Des Hasler, again, we're talking about completions. We're talking about getting back to basics. And he said to his halves, think about the kicking game. And then I spoke to Marty Tapau on the bench. And when I asked what Des had to say, he gave me a big smile, thumbs up and said, rip in. Now, tomorrow night, there is television not to be missed. Sunday night on the Matty John Show, 2 very special guests.
Wow, he got the right leg out, and Fanua's come up trumps there. Sorry, Hannah, to butt in for a moment.
So his foot just has to be touching the line here.
Oh, he's done well.
Great job.
Yeah, he doesn't have to catch the ball, just has to touch it.
Little anxious look to the touchy, making sure that he was on the same wavelength. Hannah, you got more for us?
I do, yeah. So there's 2 very special guests, Sean Johnson and the one and only the 8th. Andrew Johns. Matty Johns is going to sit down with his brother Andrew in an interview that cannot be missed. It all is at tomorrow night, Sunday night, 8 p.m. And you know what, guys, with weather like this, where else would you rather be than curled up on the couch watching some telly? Danny Baderis, you know both these guys very well. Plenty of good stories there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit to unpack there, Hannah. On and off the field, but I'm sure Matty will take it to all sorts of places. But I'm hearing it's going to be a bit of a serious talk in there, so really good viewing. Hopefully everyone tunes in.
Bit of tangential thinking, you think, from the Johns boys. Must-watch TV tomorrow night after the late game. Raiders against Titans. Brooks kicks. Another chaser was blocked off, but Manly diffused it again.
Well, a kick early in the set, and thought that they'd catch the fullback out of position, Brendan Elliott, who was up in the line. It was just poorly executed from Luke Brooks. Need another 5 metres on the kick.
Hasn't worked out too bad. Make 3 tackles inside the 20. Tafua gets them out of their own red zone. But it's hard work for Manly. Have been pegged back by that penalty goal. Now Jake Trebojevic. Just 7 wins in 2018 for Manly. Under Trent Barrett. Change of coach for them. Change of coach for the West Tigers after Ivan Cleary went back down the back of the bus and, in case of emergency, broke glass and said, I'm out of here. And Madge Maguire got the call up. Here's Isan Masters.
That's the blueprint. More of that. Outside backs with footwork.
One-hand take from Jennings. McKaylee wants it. Nice footwork as well from the rookie. They can go either way. Farah finds his halfback. Back on the angle, Aloye. Oh, doesn't Coruscant put his body on the line. Fabulous stuff from the hooker again defensively. Now Brooks. Well, that's a try from Robbie Farah. Right under the post. We finally have a 4-pointer. Sirenen let it hit him, and then everyone watched, and Robbie Farah said, I'm having that.
He does well, he's onside here.
Manly. Have a try. Check Robbie Farah's onside, please.
Right side for the Tigers kick chasers onside.
Well, they've cleared Farah already. He was a right side chaser. It's all about the grounding. And he won't be messing that up.
And he grounds the ball in goal. We have a decision.
Robbie Farah with a try at Leichhardt. The first of 2019 for the Tigers from the 35-year-old veteran.
It was always going to be one of those sort of tries, wasn't it, to open the account here for the West Tigers. Very hard conditions. And Farah did really well, being the pass with the ball to get back on side there. And Brooks tried that kick a couple of times, back infield.
And Farah thought those days were over, didn't he, when he sat up on the scoreboard here with the tinny a few years back.
2016, he's sitting up there reminiscing. He's creating more memories now.
Another straightforward look for Isan Masters. So big turnaround on in the opening 9 minutes of this second half. From 2-0 down at the break, they're 8-2 up, the home team.
Yep. Sort of game it is, isn't it? A little bit of luck off the legs of Sirenen. Couldn't have done much more, Curtis. The ball hit him pretty quickly. Robbie Farah there to make sure he got it down correctly. 6-point lead.
Let's get back to Hannah.
Brenton, 35 years of age. Robbie Farah is often asked, what is playing for these days? What is there left for him to do? And he said the motivation of winning never dies, and to start the 2019 season that could be his last at Leichhardt Oval is very special to him. And also an update on the North Queensland flood appeal. That's the one where the NRL are donating $100 for every point scored in round 1. The total is $15,800.
Great news. It's only going to build across the weekend, of course. Oh, Farah ran behind Packer, and that put him off a little. Had to improvise. 40-20. Not quite. He was just outside the 40, but it trickled inside the 20. And maybe Packer's intervention there cost him a 40-20.
There's one man out there that's running with a lot of intent, playing the game really strong, and that's Josh Aloye. All things should be done on the back of him. There's that kick from Farah. So great job for Michael Maguire and his forward pack, Josh Aloye.
He saw Robbie after he scored that try, went around to his teammates, said, righto, off the back of points, let's just get a good set together. And he finished it off with the touch finder. It's Coruscant's first game since doing his Liz Frank round 14 last year. No wonder he's getting a leg rub at the moment for a late cameo.
He should be getting his shoulders rubbed up the way he throws that body around.
So Hodkinson into the dummy half roll. And Gajewski with the hit up. Utility factor now from Trent Hodkinson. Former State of Origin rep, of course, with the Blues. And LG down that short side. Thompson back on the angle. Good meters after contact there from Joel Thompson. Dragged the tacklers with him a good 8 to 10 meters. Now Trebojevic. Bought some time for Cherry Evans. On quickly to Sirenen. And there wasn't a whole lot of room there. Slow play the ball for Cherry Evans on the last. Goes back to Sirenen. Moves it on to Gajewski. He's going to drop it on the boot. And it's an easy one for Thompson to take at speed. Oh! Was that a trip? They're appealing for it. Penalty's been given. Thompson upended by the outstretched leg, and it's on report immediately.
Well, he's just so sharp on his feet, Corey Thompson. and completely wrong-footed
Penalty's done.
Joel Thompson. Gajewski having to kick the ball after Cherry Evans had no room, and look at that step. Well,
Snap.
he did hang the foot out there, but anyway, it's a penalty. I don't think anything more will happen about that.
It comes down to that high end of finish percentage for the end of sets, doesn't it, for Manly again? Des has to speak about that at half time. Just get that ball high into a corner and make it a contest.
He scored 24 tries in his 55 previous NRL games. Corey Thompson just does a job wherever the coach puts him. Fullback, wing. He's a little guy. He puts his body on the line, doesn't he?
We just got a front-end view of just how hard he is to stop, but see the footwork there where he just completely bamboozled Joel Thompson. Very quick. A little bit of room there too.
So they should get into try-scoring position again after the penalty. And Twal is back out there for his second stint.
I'd love to know how many penalties Manly's given away in the first two plays this afternoon. At least half a dozen.
Doesn't Aloye get them on the front foot with just about every hit up? Marshall. Ball wrapped up by Hodkinson. Packer. He goes with the pass to Aloye. Manly's defence read it well. Now Marshall dinking one in behind. It's a beautiful kick. And they'll get a repeat set out of it. Oh, there's plenty of action going on, isn't there? Bodies going everywhere. The slip and slide was on. And let's hope Brendan Elliott's okay.
Don't want to hear it.
We saw Luke Brooks attempt one of these kicks a couple of sets ago in similar position. Just didn't get it right. And it is such a hard kick to perfect. And Benji just struck that beautifully, forced the Manly side to make a play at the ball. It was in the in goal, sitting around. One of his players could have come up with it. But that delicate little chip 10 metres out that goes over the defensive line. It's not an easy kick. It's kept the pressure on the Seagulls.
Brendan Elliott just got an accidental to the boots, to the ribs there. He's back in the line now. Should be okay.
Yeah, he's been in the wars, hasn't he? What will Cherry Evans try here? He's already got the ball back for his team once when Whanua couldn't handle it. This time he takes it safely on the full and brings them back to the 30. 13 minutes gone in the second half. One try in the game has gone to Robbie Farah. Brooks taking the line up. Packer. Garner trying to go through a hole. He's lost it. And Sirenan tidies up for Manly. So they again stay in the game to the Seagulls, courtesy of their defence, forcing errors.
He's had a couple of those today, hasn't he, Luke Garner? Obviously seemed in their game plan want to pass the ball interchange between their forwards. Maybe today's not the day.
Manly have scored at least 20 points in 9 of their last 11 meetings with the West Tigers. They'll do well to crack 20 today. They just want to win the game, though. Got to find a try from somewhere. Whanua Blake, they're on the back foot here. Losing ground on that play. Cherry Evans, Trebojevic, up over halfway he goes. It's the last. Pressure coming from Farah. Cherry Evans had to go underground as Farah advanced, and Thompson tracked across again. Conditions have eased again. Jennings. 19 tries last year for South Sydney. He scored 4 in 3 against Manly down the years. He doesn't mind taking on the Seagulls. Will he get an opportunity here for another 4-pointer this afternoon? Farah out of dummy half. What a pass to Packer. Brooks looms up. Packer ignored him. Still a chance to Garner. Never scored an NRL try. Luke Garner wrapped up eventually. How did the West Tigers not score then? Manly's defence scrambled. Still under the pump, though. And across came Thompson. Credit to him.
I want to check it. Check.
Now they're going to go upstairs. Farah's complaining about
Tackle 6.
Manly blocking off the chaser.
Yeah. Okay, H. Tackle 6, mate. Have no try. Just want to check that the contact on Josh Alloway. Make sure it's shoulder to shoulder, or if not, anything more.
Alloy A is that man next to Robbie Farah on his right. Farah
Tigers kick chasers onside.
gets the ball through the hole.
Saw a penalty try last night in Newcastle. We're not going to get one here.
No.
It's just a genuine battle for the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all headed
And the ball
towards
is
the
being
footy.
kicked dead by Joel Thompson. We have a decision.
Yeah, they're all headed towards the football. And if you're jostling with your shoulder, that's all right, as long as you don't grab with an arm.
Well, let's make it 1-1. Blown tries here this afternoon.
Marty, well, I think they blew it twice there.
That did.
Russell Packer should have
shoulder to shoulder,
passed to
you can do
Luke
that.
Brooks on the inside, and then
Benji just didn't stay on the
then
outside.
I was going to call him Joel Garner.
I'm sure he's got it his whole life.
Garner should have passed the ball on the inside to Benji Marshall. That was a great ball from Robbie Farah to put Packer in space. Pass now.
Downside,
Give it to the
Manly.
speed man, but he's able to offload. Then Garner gets himself into a space. Ah, Benji. Anyway, they got the ball back.
Playing over the advantage line, every team looks so much better. Robbie
Oh,
Farah, great shot.
wow. Rocked by his opposite number, Marty Tapau, and he thought there was a little knock on there. Didn't get the bonus of possession back as Garner gets an offload this time. And off the back of an Alloy nearly busted them open.
Outstanding.
Packer, full head of steam up for the West Tigers right now. Manly will do well to hold on this set. Marshall, poised for his 150th win in the NRL. Brooks put the big step on. There was plenty of traffic to get through after that. Which way does Farah go? Looks for the kick. They're all in motion.
Oh, yeah.
Corey Thompson sniffing around. They're claiming it.
Tackle 6, H. No try.
Trebojevic confident that he's grounded at
He's
first.
eventually grounded by Jake Trebojevic. Potentially with torso.
Right, Tigers kick chasers onside.
Oh, it's hard to see. Tapau misses. Thompson, Trebojevic. Well, Corey Thompson misses too. I thought Thompson had won the race to the ball, but he hasn't. And Jake Trebojevic
Gets the torso onto the ball by the looks of that. Big Jake.
Potential torso there, H. After it's
Of course, Manly would love to see a little knock on here from a West Tiger and get a 7-tackle set.
Are we happy with torso or are we happy?
No.
I think this slipped through the legs.
I think it's gone. Jake's gone straight over the top of this ball and it's come out between his legs. I don't think Jake's grounded it either. What happens after that? There's no grounding of the torso there.
That's hatched.
That's a live footy.
He's hatched the egg, as Danny just alluded to.
Let's play on.
And I think someone just kicks it dead. There's no hand on that ball either, so just keep rolling.
You got to ground it with the torso, not the tree trunks.
Well, that's right.
That ball's live.
Yeah, he hasn't grounded it.
That's live
anyway,
now.
Jake's gone straight over the top of it.
Right. There's a grounding from Jake Trebojevic. In the end goal, we have a decision.
So maybe the rule book says you can ground it with your legs.
Well, I don't even think he got his legs on it. It just popped out in between his legs.
how
As
big-
Danny said, he laid the egg.
How big's your torso, Brandon?
Drop out.
I got really short legs or a long torso.
Sausage legs.
Well, Graham Annesley is chatting every Monday, isn't he? So maybe that'll get a little query on Monday at NRL headquarters. But what about the hit from Marty Tapau on Twal?
Yeah, that was a good shot, wasn't it? Off the dropout. Another dropout.
Cherry Evans goes low this time. It's a scrubber of a kick. Tidied up by Whanua, who was very careful as that one came to him. Parker finished him off, driving him into the deck a little. Twile again running it to Power. He's not too concerned about taking him on, head on. Marshall. Garner, right through. Oh, he's going to go all the way for his first try in the NRL in his 7th game. And the West Tigers in the second half are all over Manly. And that time, the dummy did work, Brandy.
Yeah, it's been a great period for the West Tigers. 2 forced dropouts. And off the back of the second one, they came up with their second try. Good, hard running. Give the ball early. Don't play him right onto the defensive line. Isolated Cherry Evans. Tough one-on-one tackle for the half to make. He sort of sat down in the seat, which didn't put him in the best position to make the tackle on a bigger man that's coming straight at him. Straight over the top, throws the dummy. Big moment for Luke Garner.
The territory had to tell, didn't it? In the first half, we're looking to the right where the West Tigers were attacking. They just couldn't crack the line of the Manly Seagulls. Same the second half. Then looking down to the left, just pumping this line of the Seagulls. Finally get across it with a nice created shape.
And a sliding doors moment for this guy. Luke Garner. You think Chris Lawrence would be in that role if he was fully fit, but he copped that horrific facial injury in training in New Zealand in recent weeks. So Garner gets the opportunity. He makes the most of it there.
Yeah, he certainly did. Look, and played a bit of football last year, so he was certainly in the minds of the Tigers last year as Masters makes sure of that kick in front.
More points, that's what we like to see here at Leichhardt Oval. And if you want to see that try again and again, and hey, one more time, you can on the Fox League app. We have all the player and coach interviews from all of round 1. You can get your fix of Fox League wherever you are.
Surely growing up, he was called Big Joel. Brandy, everyone who had a surname Garner.
Yep.
I think we're showing our age. I don't know if you know Joel.
Twile running it to Power again. What about this battle? That'll be going up on the Fox League app as well. The little head-to-head between the two front rowers. Alloye just keeps on putting his hand up. 56th game in the NRL. Madison lands on his front. They're rolling the West Tigers. Packer slowed down that time. Marshall's kick. And it's getting away from George. Tidied up by Elliott. Chase is good from the West Tigers. That is a fantastic chase. He had nowhere to go, the fullback.
That's the way you play wet weather footy. Get the ball out of your back end of your field. And a nice kick. We'll back it up with some good kick chase. And your first +2 tackles here. And the rhythm is set now for this defensive set for the West Tigers.
Tafua, once again, 3 tackles made inside the 20. Quarter of the game to go. Uphill battle for Manly. Can they get back into it? They need a spark from somewhere. Strong tackle by Twile on Thompson. And he was thinking about the offload. Marshall had the ball wrapped up. Cherry Evans under pressure again. Farah right in his face. So they didn't know it was the final play.
They didn't, Speedy. Did not know there's confusion. Other confusion there. He's out of position. Cherry Evans has just rushed in there late.
Normally he's got a great long kicking game, Cherry Evans, and normally he does control that 5th tackle, and there's never any question about what's going on, but they haven't got it right a lot of times this afternoon. Put a lot of it down to Robbie Farah too, who has been in the face of Cherry Evans all day.
Well, last year they actually averaged the least kick meters of any team, and they're not getting a lot of kick meters at the moment. And that shank from Cherry Evans set up the West Tigers with this field position. Masters, his ball control is quite incredible. Thought about the offload, then reined it back in. Marshall goes to Brooks, slides one in behind. Coming the other way is Reuben Garrick. Credit the rookie for tidying that one up.
Thompson was thereabouts, wasn't he? Really get himself in behind Daly Cherry Evans. Well done from the rookie. Ruben Garrick. Sirenen.
Coruscant back out there. Hodkinson just gave him a little 10 to 15 minute chop out. Is that the role for Hodkinson this year? Just little 10 and 15 minute cameo?
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Coughed up by LG.
It's a couple of times, hasn't it? Gone out the back of that play and it just hasn't found the man there, but it just hasn't been executed.
Now running downhill at the moment, the West Tigers. 12-point lead, 18 minutes to go. Not thinking one just yet, they want another 6. Farah down that short side for Benji. Back on the angle, Masters gets a trademark offload away. Second phase footy for the veterans. And Benji eventually wrapped up. Farah to fire it back to the left-hand side. Madalino to Taylor. Do they think about the one here? Doesn't look like it. They're going to go to Brooks. Little stab in behind. Oh, brilliant hands. Brendan Elliott.
Yeah, credit with it's due there. That's beautiful hands from Brendan Elliott. That's coming fast at him. There's a lot of repeat sets. It's in the mindset, getting some repeat sets. The West Tigers use the air, put the ball in the air, change it up a little bit.
Well, he thought he caught the marker not square there, Coruscant, but he was given the benefit of the doubt. Garner. Hard work for Tafua today. Sully, the wrecking ball. Great run by the centre, the former Tiger. Had that massive contract as a teenager with the West Tigers. Now, Cherry Evans caught late by Elijah Taylor, who stayed down for a while. Don't forget, coming up after this, North Queensland Cowboys with Moose Maguire. Going to be strange to see Maguire running around in a jersey that's not the number 13 for the Broncos. Big off-season signing for the Cows. And they take on the Dragons with Corey Norman in the halves. It's great to see all these new faces at new homes in round 1.
I love it. Love it. And that's a great game up there in North Queensland.
And the outside backs, aren't they? Masters and Fanua are starting to come into their own now. A little bit of footwork in the offload ability. That man Thompson sniffing around. Here he goes now. Masters again.
Oh, the footwork was sensational. He slipped through LG's tackle. Parker upended him. And that tackle needed to be made. Now on the last, Marshall stabs it. The bounce could have been awkward. It allows Brooks to wrap up Sirenen though, and he won't be getting out of there. Another repeat set coming up.
I know we haven't had much rain in the second half, but it fell pretty heavily in the first half, so they are wet weather conditions, and this is exactly what has been required for the Tigers to get a 12-point lead. They're playing perfect wet weather footy. Keep the pressure on, keep the ball on the ground. Field position has been dominated by the Tigers.
Yeah, just driving the screw in, aren't they? Halves enjoying this, and so you get a little bit of cohesion, I guess you could say, together. Start steering everyone around and getting your hands on the ball, which they had. They had a lot of possession, 60%.
Everyone knew this weather was coming this weekend in Sydney, so credit 13,000 plus for coming out to Leichhardt Oval in their ponchos, the majority of them on the hill, to watch round 1 in front of the Wayne Pearce Hill scoreboard. What a sight that is as well. The old-fashioned scoreboard ticking over a little quietly this afternoon. Here's Madalino trying to go through. Had his Dax pulled down. Now Farah! Robbie Farah with a double! What a second half performance. 35 years young is Robbie Farah. When he gets the opportunity to play at Leichhardt, he plays every game like it's his last.
When we say when we spoke about what was going to win this game in the second half, we said ball control. The team that hangs onto the ball, that's 14 out of 15 in the second half. The Tigers' completion rate. They have dominated possession. They are punching holes in the Manly defence. And Robbie Farah just toyed with the edge players then. Through the dummy, Sirenen out of shape. Jake Trebojevic just couldn't do the job.
They play the ball. They're the middlemen of the West Tigers have started to dominate, haven't they? Nice play the balls for their playmakers. There's one there. And Farah sitting on that Wayne Pearce scoreboard 2 years ago. Who would have thought he'd be back here one day, 2 years later, scoring 2 tries?
No one thought it was going to happen.
Way.
Benji and Robbie back at the Tigers.
Oh, wow. Our game is
1,000,000
strange.
to 1.
It always gives.
It's the first time in 115 games that he scored multiple tries. Long time between drinks for Robbie Farah.
Well, some of the old blokes in the competition are playing as good as they ever have.
And they're all inspired as well. They all talk about watching Tom Brady playing Super Bowls year after year in his 40s now. And now that the athlete, the modern day athlete, thinks they can go on a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah, that stereotype has been broken, hasn't it? That, you know, you get to 30 and you should hang them up.
Masters converts again. 18-point margin. The West Tigers dominant. Hannah Hollis.
Who said 35 years old makes anyone too old for rugby league? Robbie Farah, the veteran, the fan favourite here at the West Tigers, making it look easy. And as we think about this season, this is a new era of rugby league, a new generation of stars playing for the ultimate prize. You can experience the new era and get your NRL Telstra Premiership tickets today from nrl.com/tickets.
Last time Leichhardt Oval hosted a round 1 game, it was 2012 against the Sharks, and Benji Marshall kicked a field goal to win it in Golden Point. We won't need that this afternoon. It's been all about Robbie Farah leading the way with a double. 2-0 down at half-time if you joined us late. 20-0 in the second half.
How heavy is Albi Coruscant? In the 80s?
85.
His technique.
Well, it has to be good if you're 85, doesn't it? And you're in the middle.
He's knocking people over left, right and centre in the middle. There he is again. How many tackles has he done?
Here's Taylor.
40. They have 40 tackles.
Here's his opposite number. Farah out of dummy half, kicking away from Elliott. What an exhibition from Robbie Farah. And Elliott turned around, and Benji was the first one leading the chase as well.
He nearly had another moment there, Brendan Elliott. He thought he'd flip around and pick the ball up facing the Tigers' try line.
Here he is again out of dummy half. But, well, I mentioned it earlier, around training, they talked about as Grandad and Fossil, Farah and Marshall. But they've got plenty to give, don't they, Danny?
Well, absolutely they have at the moment. Round 1, though, Speedy. It's a long year, isn't it?
Here's Sully.
They're getting those calves.
Oh, wonderful offload. And putting it on the boot, Reuben Garrick. How's the bounce? Oh, Brooks, fantastic. Stays in the field of play. And Garrick complaining about getting wiped out. It's going to be a Manly penalty. It's good skills by the winger. We'll drop that on the boot and give Cherry Evans a chance.
Well, Moses Surley has been a danger. Every time he's touched the ball, Moses Surley, it's been a handful for the Tigers' defence. Great one-handed flick pass there out to Reuben Garrick. Yeah. Corey Thompson just dropped the shoulder. Plenty of time to pull out of it.
Michael Mackay, we're getting a message down. You've got 11 minutes to keep you a clean sheet to start the season with, and it's a good challenge for them. They're very good in their defensive structures this afternoon.
Tanganoa with the go forward in the number 16 jumper. Sloppy play the ball though. And the West Tigers don't even have to try and stand up for a full set.
Well, it seems like an eternity since the Manly side have been down this end of the field. And they get down here and they can't get through a set. Tanganoa early in the piece.
Well, there it is. They've had 8 tackles down there, Brandy, in the 20-metre zone, compared to the 40 the West Tigers have had down in theirs. So,
and I think those 8 tackles, Dan, would have been in the first half.
Look at all those tackles in the opposition 20, 40-8 in favour of the West Tigers, and the territory 2/3 of it in favour of the home team here at Leichhardt. Desi's got plenty of work to do.
And it comes back to the kicking game. The kicking game has let them down this afternoon.
Yeah, Cherry Evans has been caught a few times. Good offload there by Fanua. Span it out the back where Thompson was waiting. Elijah Taylor. One of those signings from Ivan Cleary as he got the band back together. Now it's Madge Maguire who's taken over, the New Zealand coach. Taking on those dual roles now.
It's been great identification by the Tigers that really Cherry Evans is the sole kicker in this Manly side, as Elliott does a great job to get out of the play. Whereas the Tigers mix it up between Brooks, Marshall and Robbie Farah out of dummy half. It's very easy for the Tigers, and Farah's done it all day to isolate Cherry Evans and put him under pressure.
Yeah, no Tom Trebojevic at the moment. Dylan Walker's out for a long time as well, so they're without a couple of their guns in the back line. As they sweep it to Moses Sully again, trying to get that arm free. Well wrapped up that time by Momorowski. Offload by Sirinen. Cherry Evans pushing the pass. They know they've got to make something happen. They've got to start hitting the scoreboard in a hurry. Has been done before, and here's a penalty, so they can get some field position again. Need to score on this set to give them a hope. And they need to get to 20 points again against the West Tigers, as they have done so often recently. Jake Trebojevic. New South Wales Origin rep, gun player. They've kept a close eye on him today. And make sure of his ball security this time. Tanganoa executes the play the ball. Cherry Evans now, oh, slips out the back. And would have been a knock on. Tidied up by the West Tigers anyway. Another incomplete set from the visitors. Completion rate percentage is dropping all the time, down towards 73 now. Look like improving their record against Manly here at Leichhardt to 7-2, the West Tigers. Oh, McKaylee coughs it up. A little black mark on a fabulous debut, though.
Here, come on. Hold it.
Certainly made a big impact in that first half when he came on, along with Aloye. Tanganoa one more time. Cherry Evans scheming down the right-hand side. Stepped around Cheekham briefly. Confident one-hand pickup by Elliott. Nowhere to go for Sirinen. Adam Fanua-Blake got the arm free. Trebojevic couldn't take it with him. And they remain trialists. And the West Tigers, you can see Benji Marshall, he's keeping his team on point. They want to keep the opposition trialists this afternoon.
Yeah, that'll give them plenty of confidence too. I guess it's the stage of the game where Manly just need to throw anything and hope one sticks. Tough one for Trebojevic.
Before the clock, guys.
One more, Manly. Let's go.
10 seconds, guys.
10 seconds. Come down.
On me, guys.
Arms around.
On me, Curtis.
Cock off.
Wait
Head in, pull in, out.
Manly haven't been kept trialists or to 2 points or less since the 2013 finals. That's a long time between drinks. That's what the West Tigers have done to them today. Conditions have played a part, and so has this defence that really strengthened in the early stages under Ivan Cleary last year when they were so hard to beat. Got those low-scoring wins against the Melbourne Storm and the Roosters at the start of the campaign. So the round one specialists, looks like they're going to win for the 5th year in a row in round one. And they've got something to build on. 3 home games first up for Madge Maguire as well, as Brooks gets a little careless. But that's a great starting point for a new coach to have 3 home games first up.
Luke, thank you.
Yeah, it is. Coming off your first round win. As we said, confidence and what they'll take out of it. Just took his eyes off it.
Next to at Campbelltown as they host the Warriors and then the Bulldogs. Those 2 teams squaring off in the first game of our triple header today, and it was all the Kiwi team. A late cameo for Toff Sipley, playing his 7th game in the NRL. Fanua Blake stepped around 1. He's lining up again. Well, he wound up being a decoy and it put Cherry Evans off. Toff Sipley, another mistake early in the count when they're in the red zone.
Just that sort of afternoon, hasn't it? Coruscant across the face of Sipley. Cherry Evans didn't sight the ball until late, and it was a bullet-like pass from the hooker. Made it tough on his captain.
Hold for it!
What do you make of the use of the bench when you've got a big bopper like Toff Sipley and you only bring him on with 5 minutes to go?
Hold it, Kane.
Well, how they use their benches. Des is in a better position to make a call on who he wants on the field or not.
You had that headache at New South Wales level last year when to use the interchanges and what have you. There's plenty going on, isn't there?
Can be tricky. Can get tricky.
Farah. Oh, big cutout pass floated forward. Touch judge tipping up the referee. Jennings wasn't able to motor away as Brooks got expansive in the last few minutes. Easy to line up when they pass from the 40, and it's taken about 4 metres in front of it.
Heads down, heads down. Head down. Let's go, Corey. Cock off.
Oh, with me, guys.
Yeah, head down, Adam. Ball in. Out.
Another good game from the referees. How about a good start, Randy? The refs. Game 1 was a belter on Thursday night. That's a forward pass and a dummy half. Given the all clear.
So we haven't noticed the refs. That's exactly the way you want it.
Oh, here we go. Jennings, it wound up in his lap and he ran towards Elliott. Could have gone the other way into open space, but he went inboard.
There's a player that's not confident in how quick he is. Brooks puts a kick in, Masters chasing it.
And Brooks wound up getting on the end of it and popped up to Parker. Brooks a little proppy after that as well. Don't need to pick up an injury with your star halfback chasing a late try when you've already got an 18-point lead.
Well, we've got a new era starting up in North Queensland. No Jonathan Thurston, Michael Morgan, the skipper of the Cowboys. They're the next game coming up against the Dragons. Corey Norman in the halves for the Dragons and Widdop at fullback. Plenty to look forward to in that clash. Coruscant, great ball to Sipley.
And he just got ankle tapped at the key moment there. Otherwise, they were away, Manly, for a late consolation. Still might be on. LG goes to Parker. Unmarked outside to Fua. Back inboard to LG. And they worked it out. The 5'8" and winger. And the West Tigers finally breached, try-wise, right on the full-time siren. You heard them complaining about forward passes, but the referee gave it the all clear. And they finally get a try. They aren't kept to 2 points or less for the first time since 2013.
Yeah, line breaks have been tough this afternoon, but they finally cracked this Tigers defence with a clever pass. LG out to Parker, and this is off the back of a quick play the ball. That's why they got the space. LG and Tafua combined nicely down that edge of the field. See the Seagulls finally grab a try.
And he's gone past Des Hasler on Manly's all-time try scorers list 73 for George, leaves Desi on 72. I don't think he'll be mentioning that post-game though, Brandon.
I don't think that'll be important.
You wouldn't go saying that to Hasler after a loss here at Leichhardt, which winds up being a 14-point margin after the conversion attempt slices away from Cherry Evans. Robbie Farah will write the headlines today.